Hello, welcome back to Voluminum. This is episode 39, and I'm armorless, weaponless, pickaxe-less. I'm just in a test world of Voluminum right now. I've got some big plans for an upgrade on the main storage here. So you might wonder, what exactly are we upgrading? Well, a variety of things actually. So if you watched the previous episode about all the perimeters I'm digging in this world, you know that bulk storage is going to be pretty important. And something I don't have is a box sorter. Now this is a bulk storage, so there are items stored into shulker boxes here, and then they're broken and stored into chests. So this is your average, bulk storage. But what I don't have here that I want to include is a box sorter as well. So if I already have a full box of grass, I can input it into the system and it'll take it out and sort it directly here instead of unloading the box entirely and then repacking it back into a new box. It'll just be a much faster way of sorting full boxes, which having a dig sorter at the TNT perimeter is going to make things a whole lot easier to move to the main storage here. So that's number one. We need to upgrade our bulk storage. Number two, we need to upgrade or reconfigure our input. Our main input box. So this is the chest here. I've shown this off before. The main input and everything is output from below here. So everything's unloaded if it's in a box. All the items are spat out into water streams. We got our unstackables, our normal items, and empty shulker boxes back here. What we basically need to add to this is a fill level box sorter. If you haven't heard of that before, it's basically a system that detects how full a shulker box is. So if a shulker box is dispensed and it's absolutely full, it breaks and goes to a specific chest. And if it's almost full or has any items in it at all, it'll break and go into an entirely separate system, or be unloaded like normal. So that's number two, our input. Number three, our unstackable sorting storage here. This was a prototype by Femi that he came up with quite a while ago, and recently there's been a lot of developments in non-stackable sorters in the Storage Tech Discord, and CommandLeo came up with a really compact design. It's almost half the size of this one here, which this one is great still. I just want to make things more compact because things are going to get bulkier on the bulk storage side, so try and cut down on some running back and forth here. So we'll have install a new unstackable storage, so we got to rip this one out. And lastly will be our furnace array here. This thing is just a super basic one that I threw together really quick to have things smelted quick enough when I need a lot of glass, glazed terracotta for whatever reason. This is just something I threw together, but I found one, ShaydeeJay. It's another YouTuber, rather small. I'll say, it's surprisingly small for the quality content that he puts out. So we're going to be upgrading our furnace array as well. So say goodbye to this section of the main storage. It's going to be upgraded, but let's go check out the components of the new storage before we upgrade. So let's start with the new input. So this is our input chest here, and this is one by SamosTheSage. Obviously, the other input I had was also one by SamosTheSage, but this is a different one he did here. I'll link his video on that, so you can check this out for yourself. But this is really, really cool. Like I said, it sorts out full boxes. I want to explain how all this works exactly. I'll link his video and go check that out. And he does a much better job of explaining how this works. But basically, yeah, items come in, and you've got boxes dispensed there. But if they're full, they'll be kicked out into this chest here. So from this chest, we can send items to the box sorter in the bulk storage. And now when you've got items coming out down there, this is the just normal item timed input to where everything is, so nothing skips the hoppers at 9,000 items an hour. I think this is a little bit slower actually, but yeah, this is the same bit that I had in the other input. It's just kind of extending off. And then we've got our empty boxes and unstackables. This is basically the same thing, except we've added on this box fill level sorter to the side here. So when a full box is detected, it is spat out into this chest. So we can take from here to go to the box sorter. All right, moving on is our new super smelter. So this is actually just a copy and pasted design I put here from ShaydeeJay, but I'm going to be changing out a bunch of blocks and making it look a little bit differently. But this thing works really well and it's really compact, and I think it's twice the furnaces that I had. There's 64 furnaces. And so you've got your input chest here, everything you want to smelt, everything that is smelted comes out here, and you get your fuel over here in this box. And I'll link his video so you can go down there and check that out. And he does a good job of explaining everything here as well. And this is just a really compact super smelter. I do actually have plans for a massive super smelter in the future, but I don't need one right now. I don't really do that much smelting, and this will suffice for my needs. So gonna be building this up as well. And onto the new unstackable sorter. This one's by CommandLeo, and I'll link to his post in the Storage Tech Discord. But this thing, I mean, as you can see, it is super compact, and it can sort out, you know, all the non-stackables that we were already sorting out before in a super compact way. And you don't have to deal with armor stands. And so you've got your input over here and output down here, anything that doesn't get sorted. So yeah, this takes up maybe a quarter of the space that the previous one did. And last but not least, the new bulk design. Now this thing is much taller than the other one, but it's totally worth it. This one is by Femi, and so you've got your water stream here. Items will go over the hoppers, and this is your normal item filter. Items will go down here and fill up this box. Once it's full, it'll be broken by this little contraption here and sent down all the way down into your bulk storage down here. You've got a little box display, but what's great about this is you have the box sorter right here. So this is a dropper and observer line. It's a lot easier to see once it's built up in survival. I'll show you more then, but if you've seen box sorters before, you know how they work. You have your items coming into this side and your boxes sorted out here. And when an item goes over that filter, it dispenses the box, puts it back in, and sorts it into the slice that it goes to. So this is a much bulkier bulk storage, but it's going to be worth, because we're going to be able to sort items like we normally are right now, and also full boxes immediately without having to go through the input first. Alright, I've got to do a lot of tearing down of the old to put up the new, so I'll see you on the other side. Welcome back. Everything has been built up. We've got our bulk storage behind us here. Little crafting table chandelier I added. You can see the significant reduction in size for our unstackable sorter. I mean, this thing is so much smaller than the old one. And here is the new and improved furnace array. Woo! A nice little bridge across the tracks. I just think this was a nice little touch. And we got our fuel down here. I've already filled this thing up with I don't know how many shulker boxes, because I don't think I explained how this worked exactly in explaining the different bits that I was going to be building. But these minecart hoppers disperse the fuel over all of these hoppers that go into the furnaces, right? And then this first hopper here takes a comparator reading, and as long as this hopper is full, these don't need to be refueled at all. So you basically really need to have this chest full of fuel at all times, or at least have fuel in it. So it's recommended, you have a little comparator output from the chest to a redstone lamp or something for an indicator light when you're low on fuel, but I didn't want to add that. I like the stairs, walk up to it, nice little clean, path over to the input and output. And we've got our boxes for some more coal over here. I need to probably go get some more coal from our old fortress farm. So yeah, this thing is much taller than the previous one, and maybe a little bit wider, but it's really not too much bigger. And I didn't mention as much when I previously talked about this. I was rewatching the clips. This thing is really special and really efficient because it also locks hoppers. Now, I've explained before many times how hopper locking is important for storage systems because they cause a lot of lag when they're not locked. This thing is really important because it does lock a lot of hoppers, and even in the bulk storage over here, where the boxes are stored along this side here, you've got a little system to where the hoppers lock long enough for the boxes to go all the way down. But other than that, they're locked with the redstone blocks. So that's super cool. And we've got our new inputs over here. So this one, I can put everything in it, literally everything. And this one only takes full boxes. So if I wanted to expedite full boxes straight into the bulk storage, I can just put them in here. And this bypasses the actual input. This goes right to where the full boxes would come out of, into this water stream over here. This is a mess under here, but this took a while to just try and route everything. But everything is routed perfectly now. We've got everything in here. I've actually been doing some digging over at the maze perimeter. I can toss everything in here. And we can see this being dispensed like normal. So I think I might have misspoke. This first little dispenser here is actually to read the comparators, or to read the box strength. It does it really fast. So if this thing gives a comparator output of 15, then it goes to this one because it's full. If it gives any less than 15, it goes straight down into this here, and this dispenser dispenses it to be unloaded, and this unloads boxes like normal. And if you remember, I installed this water stream that comes from the end platform there. So if I toss things into the end portal, they end up there, and they're sent all the way down here into the main storage. All I had to do was extend this thing a little bit further over so it can get over this little mechanism here to input shulkers into the box sorter. So it falls right over it, down there, onto that hopper. And this hopper will just pick everything up that is sent through the import like that, and I can turn it off. So if I accidentally throw things in there, or maybe I just leave it off on default, so if I die on the end platform, not everything is sent to the, all my items aren't sent there for some reason. And I saved all the full boxes that were in the bulk storage previously because I took them all out when I was deconstructing everything. So now we can really give this thing a test, and when I start putting these things back in here. So just grab all the stone, and now this only accepts full boxes. Now it would be fine if I put the full boxes in the everything chest, but they would just kind of have to wait on a queue because this dropper would need to activate to try and put it into that dispenser. Or this dropper, I mean, sorry. And that's what all these items are doing. So if they're items, they go straight down, and if they're boxes, they go down to be unloaded. And so it's just faster to put them in the other chest over here. So yeah, we'll just put all these in the full boxes only. Send them there. So they have to loop around kind of a whirly ways. Come up, and these go into the box input. So this dispenses the boxes, takes an item out, and sends it on its way. So we should see them being redispensed, put the item back in, and then put along in this slice. Ah, this is satisfying. So we only put stone in there. We can let this go until it finishes. It's a little bit noisy, but that's what happens when you put, 27 or so full boxes in there. All right, let's try netherrack. Let's put netherrack in there. And that one should go as well. All right, we'll see the netherrack coming up now. A little bit tough on the frame rate, I won't lie. Aha, perfect. All right, so it's gonna, it fills up this dispenser, then it'll fill up the dropper on the backside, and then it'll fill up behind it. Okay, so if there was ever any doubt in the reliability of this system by Femi, this should be a testament to how good it actually is. So I didn't even think about this, but I put full boxes of unstackable items into the storage at some point, I guess, and it read it as full, so it sent it to the bulk storage. So it took an item out and put the rest of the box in here. I didn't even think about that. So that's another case that you might have to watch for when you're putting everything in here, including full boxes of non-stackable items, because normally you wouldn't do that, but I just had a bunch of chests over here lined up from when I deconstructed everything and basically just broke all the chests, filled my inventory and input into everything, and then let it sort overnight because it kind of took a little while. But luckily nothing broke. Nothing is broken. Everything should be here in order. Now we can continue on putting putting the rest of this bulk back in the storage. Update time. Okay. I'm almost done tearing down this mountain. I say almost. It's shorter now than it was. What am I down to? Y86? Okay, it's better. That's where it was. So I've still got to deconstruct, or I'm working on flattening this section down here where I extended, and then that one won't take nearly as long because it's much lower. And then the whole place will be down to Y60 whatever, 65. And then we can be on a level playing field and have this TNT perimeter dug in no time. Definitely no time, right? So funnily enough, if you guys remember me telling you about this dig storage from the last episode by Speedcuber, I was in his stream the other day and he was working on the single player version of this. Yep. The single player version of this storage that I just made. So there is a smaller version for this. For any of you that are interested in building one of these, I will likely build it for the maze perimeter that I'm working on because it is much more compact. Like I said, when I built this one, this is more for like a server size perimeter rather than just a single player, size perimeter that I'm working on. Even though this thing is great, I don't want to discourage you from building this one, but the other one is more compact and probably a little bit more improved. It has less storage, but like I said, this storage behind me here is for much bigger perimeters with much more players and input. And the only improvement I think the version 4 has is instead of 3 2x loaders, it has 1 8x loader, I believe, and it's more reliable. So that's a plus side. But this, these work fine as long as I don't leave the area while the chunk loader is on, or it doesn't get unloaded at some point. So we're flying back in here around the base. You can see what I've added here. I did end up breaking the bedrock above the base portal here, like I said I was gonna do. Just a little, little octagon shaped kind of thing. But now we can fly easily out onto the roof of the bedrock if we want to, once we get here, to and from the nether hub. I haven't done any decorating to and from these tree farm paths. I really need to get to doing that because these things have just kind of been sat here non-decorated for so long. But I do plan on adding another tree farm here. We need a dark oak tree farm, as I've said before. So I want to add that. And there is a design out there that's an adaptation to Fallen Breath's magic writing dark oak tree farm that's compatible with wither cages. So that's something I'm going to try and work on very soon. And still need to come up with some kind of interesting build for these little farms here. Let's fly on over here to the new perimeter, the new nether perimeter, and turn gamma right on so we can kind of see where we're going here. But basically, I have decided that I want to break the bedrock above this whole perimeter. The mob switch is off. Okay. Yeah, so I want to break the bedrock above the shape of the perimeter. Now, unfortunately, I think that a few of the designs that I've seen in previous like 112 versions, they don't work anymore because of instant tile tick or something like that. Maybe I'm misunderstanding, but it's a little bit harder to break massive pieces of bedrock with dragon eggs in 116, even with the carpet feature, because of fundamental changes and bugs that were fixed by 116. I really don't want to have to use signs for this whole thing because it's going to be a lot of signs, take a long time. I'd much rather have to try and work out some automatic way of doing it. So if any of you know a way of doing that, if I can at least notch out the square here, and then I can manually do the ovals, you know, the half circles on every side with just signs, I would accept that. If I could just get an automatic way of breaking the big main square, that would speed up the process a whole lot. That's gonna do it for this episode. I hope you liked the upgrades to the main storage that I showed off, and let me know what you think. Alright, well, thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.